Okay, let's see if it works now. Let's see if it works now. Let's see if it works now. Just let me know if you guys can see me. Let me know if you let me just put it here. Can y'all see and hear me? Can y'all see and hear me? Can y'all see and hear me? Okay, yes. Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm here using this app on my phone, so it just it just messed up for whatever reason. I don't know. It connects to the internet, so I don't know why it just said couldn't connect to the internet. It was my phone that was doing that. So we should be back here now. So sorry about that. Sorry for getting disconnected. But here we are. So let's just give it let's give it another minute or so. Let's just allow people to catch back up to the live here. I apologize for that, but sometimes you have some technical difficulties and you gotta respond to it. So let me just give it a few seconds here. Appreciate that. Let's just give it a few seconds here. I know some of you guys have been wondering why the hell does the sun keep coming and going? Because the sun keep coming. Because where I'm at right now has the worst weather in the world. Clouds are always moving. 1 minute is sunny, the next minute is dark. 1 minute is sunny, the next minute is dark. So I don't know what to tell you guys. So I apologize. It's just a very stupid weather. It's just so ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous weather I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Is it the Lakers fans? Nah, it wasn't. Nah, man. Make sure y'all hit the likes before we get started again. Make sure y'all hit the likes so we get started again. Let's give it another few seconds. I don't know what the hell just happened just now. Y'all still don't have a playmaker, and Kawhi is. We still don't have a play. We still don't have a. Of course, they have a playmaker. They do have a playmaker. The team is full of playmaker. Of course, they have a play. Did you watch the playoffs, man? Did y'all watch the playoffs? Were they not playing with Paul George, Reggie Jackson, and all of these guys, and Nicholas Batum and all these guys? They don't have a prototypical playmaker like a LeBron James at that level, no. But they have good enough ball handlers like Paul George. Didn't y'all hear that Paul George is working with Nicholas Batum? I mean, with Chauncey Billups. One of the reasons Paul George is handling the ball a little bit more. They have good enough playmakers. They don't have LeBron James, sure, but how many teams have LeBron James? Okay, how many teams? The Nets have James Harden. How many teams have James Harden? The Milwaukee Bucks, they just went to the finals. They have Giannis Antetokounmpo as their primary playmaker. They have enough play. Trust me, the Clippers' issues is not playmaking right now. Their issue is making sure they re-sign Kawhi Leonard. That is not their that is not their issue. That was small ball. That won't survive 82 games. I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. That's why they have Serge Ibaka and if it's Zubac. I absolutely agree with you. Hey, appreciate that from India. I absolutely agree with you. That's why they have Serge and Ivica Zubac. They have a legitimate 7-footer and a 6'10", 6'11" guy. And who knows? They may bring back DeMarcus Cousins. Who knows? We haven't heard yet. Listen, the Clippers are the best constructed team in the NBA. They're the best constructed team in the NBA. We're not gonna have an argument about the Clippers as far as from a roster standpoint. They're the best constructed team in the NBA. They're the deepest team in the NBA, and I don't even think this is a question. They are by far the deepest team in the NBA. You tell me the team that loses its best player and still beats the number one seed in the NBA. Tell me the team that does it. Tell me the team that's going to do that in the NBA that loses their number one player, and beats the number one seed in their house. The Clippers are by far the deepest team in the NBA. By far. It's not even close. I think a lot of teams out there are top heavy, but if we're talking about overall depth, I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's close. So anyway, back to what I was saying for the people that are catching up to this live again. I won't stay on long for much longer, but I just want to finish up my point. So anyway, the Clippers just going to re-sign Reggie Jackson for a 2-year deal. That's huge news. I think it's something that they needed to do. I think it's something that a lot of Clipper fans are salivating for. I think them re-signing Reggie Jackson and Nicholas Batum has at least, if these guys stay healthy, I think they have at least guaranteed themselves a decent playoff seed. I heard Jason McIntyre on FS1, Undisputed, say that because the Clippers are going to be without Kawhi Leonard, that the Clippers may end up being like a lottery team or be fighting for the 10th seed. That's what I heard him say. So, help me understand something. If the Clippers this coming season are going to be fighting for the 9th, 10th, or 11th seed in the Western Conference, people that think Jason McIntyre is saying something intelligent, and he's saying this because Kawhi Leonard will be injured, how can a team that was fighting for the 9th, that's going to be fighting for the 9th, 10th, and 11th spot for the play-in tournament, how can that same team beat the number 1 seed in the Western Conference and take the team that went to the NBA Finals in the Western Conference, take them to 6 games? How does that work? Somebody said don't mind him, Dylan. Listen, the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people listen to these people. This is the same person that said that Kawhi Leonard would be the number 2 option to Luka Doncic, a person he just beat. Help me understand. How does that work? So that's like saying if Giannis Antetokounmpo goes and plays with the Brooklyn Nets, he's going to be the number 2 option to James Harden? That's what's going to happen? That's what's going to happen? These are the people that are breaking down basketball to you guys? And what are we talking about here? So I heard him say that. Listen, I think the Clippers just guaranteed themselves at least a playoff spot. I don't know what spot is going to be. But I think if they resign Kawhi Leonard, which I think that they will, I 100% believe that they're going to resign Kawhi Leonard. If they resign him and they take care of him, meaning he nurses his injury properly, and we get to next season and he's somehow able to make it for the playoffs, and he's able to get into basketball shape, and we know that when Kawhi Leonard is healthy in the playoffs, he's one of the best performers in NBA history in the playoffs. One of the best performers in NBA history. I would pick the Clippers over every single team in the Western Conference. Every single team in the Western Conference, I would pick the Clippers to beat them. Every single one. Because what I learned this season was this. The Utah Jazz are front runners. I learned that the Utah Jazz are front runners. That's the first. I think we've forgotten. The Utah Jazz had Donovan Mitchell, who's better than Karl Malone. Y'all remember that take from your man, Stephen A. Smith, who had Karl Malone, who was better than Karl Malone. I remember them completely crumbling under the pressure. Completely falling apart. I saw that happen. I saw the Phoenix Suns only prove that they kind of deserved to be in the NBA Finals when they beat the Clippers at home. And that's when they proved. That's when they earned their spot to the finals. Up until then, they beat the Lakers, who were without one of their best players and a banged up LeBron James. They beat the Denver Nuggets, who were without their one of their best players in Jamal Murray. They beat him. And then they beat the Clippers without their best player. So I don't believe in the Phoenix Suns. I don't believe them. I never thought that they were better than the Clippers. It wasn't just me. When the season started last year and Devin Booker and Paul George played that game, and Devin Booker was talking trash to Paul George, help me understand. Was I not the one saying that Paul George is a much better player than Devin Booker? Did I not say that? Did I not say this last year? And I said, Devin Booker has no business talking trash to Paul George. They're not on the same level. A lot of people felt like I was being old. Help me understand. The Paul George that people were calling Pandemic P, was that not the same Paul George that made the all-third NBA team? So how can you be Pandemic P and make an all-third NBA team and dudes just calling you soft and trash, they never even made it on an all? Help me understand, how does that work? Help me understand that. When the Clippers lost Kawhi Leonard and they were playing against the Suns, the Clippers had the best player in that series in Paul George. Still, Paul George is better than Devin Booker. He's better than Chris Paul. He's better than Donovan Mitchell. He is not better than Luka Doncic. He is not better than LeBron James. He is not better than Anthony Davis. But he was better than those guys. If the Clippers bring back these guys, make sure you guys hit the like button, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. If Kawhi Leonard somehow comes back, I think the Clippers are going to win the West. Because I'm not convinced of how the Lakers are constructed as a team. I am not convinced. I think it's a terrible fit. And I think the biggest mistake the Lakers made, was signing Russell Westbrook. On Dreamerspro Max, for those of you guys who don't know, Dreamerspro Max is our sports online community. We talk about basketball. One of the members posted on there, do you think the Clippers should go after Russell Westbrook? I said they need to stay the hell away from Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook does not play winning basketball. People got offended. I said he doesn't play winning basketball. He doesn't. People got offended. Help me understand this. 2 years ago, the Oklahoma City Thunder were playing against the Utah Jazz. Make sure you guys hit the like button, guys. They were playing against the Utah Jazz. And what happened? During that series, Russell Westbrook took it upon himself to get into a back and forth with Ricky Rubio. In a playoff game, Russell Westbrook picks up 2 technical fouls and fouls out of a playoff game. Not a regular season game, a playoff game. And left his team on the court. This is who the Lakers got. A 30% three-point shooter. I just don't see how you got better when you needed to address your playmaking and your three-point shooting. He's going to help the three-point shooting, absolutely. I mean, the playmaking. The shooting, no. So for me, listen, I think the Clippers right now, I think they're winning. I think they're doing one of the best jobs out there, because it looks like their strategy in free agency is to run it back. I don't think they're reacting to anything that is happening. I think in the Eastern Conference, I think the team that improved the most is the Miami Heat. I think the Miami Heat improved the most, in my personal opinion. I think they improved the most. You get Kyle Lowry, who's a championship point guard, who is a gritty as hell player. He's very gritty. You get Victor Oladipo on a 1-year deal, who is a great scorer when he's healthy. You re-sign Jimmy Butler. You keep Tyler Hero. I forgot the player that they drafted. Let me pull up his name here. They drafted a young player, and I want to pull up his name here. He's a great young player. I want to pull up his name here. I forgot his name. I think he signed the biggest contract for a non-free agent. I mean, for a non-drafted player. Let me pull up his contract here. His name is, oh my God, what is his name? He's a great player. His name is, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm looking for his name here. If you guys, what's his name? There it is. They got Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson, who's a hell of a player. And then you add Markieff Morris to that roster. You added another dog to a team full of dogs ran by a president of basketball operation who's also a dog. They're going to be one of the grittiest teams in the NBA, man. And you got PJ Tucker. Thank you, Jay. And you got PJ Tucker, who's another dog. That's not a team you want to face in the playoffs, man. I think the Miami Heat got better. I think they got better. The only thing that you would say, okay, the Miami Heat will win the championship is if they went and got Kawhi Leonard. If the Miami Heat got Kawhi Leonard, they're winning the championship. You can forget all about the Brooklyn Nets. You can forget about all of that. You can put that in a bag and throw that away. If they got like Kawhi Leonard, they're winning the championship. They would win the championship if they got Kawhi Leonard. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. But if you put Kawhi Leonard on that team in the East, no way. I think the Miami Heat got better. I think the Clippers got better. I think the Chicago Bulls got better. I think the moves that the Lakers have been making are overrated. And I want to see how it works. LeBron put out a quote yesterday, not a quote, a post, a tweet, talking about people should keep the same energy, calling his team old. I'm like, wait a minute. As I said, I have LeBron James in my top 5. But does this mean you can't even say anything about the Lakers that's not positive? Or LeBron, otherwise you're like some type of hater? Is this what's happening? We had somebody leave a comment on the channel talking about, oh, the Lakers, like, are we living in reality? The Lakers are an old team. This is not hating. This is just pointing out the fact. If somebody comes to me and says, Charles, you're broke, and I have $18 in my bank account, he's not hating if it's the truth. If I have $18 in my bank account and he calls me broke, I'm broke. He's not hating. He's just telling me the truth. People are calling the Lakers, oh, it's true. It's not a hating thing. It's true. When Kobe Bryant, the late and great Kobe Bryant, was playing with the Lakers, when he had Paul Gasol, Dwight Howard, they were old. Steve Nash was old. Kobe Bryant was 34 years old. They were old. Paul Gasol was older. This is not no hate. It's true. And Kobe's my favorite player of all time. But we can't tell the truth anymore. Some people are talking about John Wall to the Clippers. I'm not really sure about John Wall. For a few reasons. Number one, John Wall has a ridiculously expensive contract. I think John Wall is supposed to be paid over $40 million this year. $40 million. If you're the Clippers and you look at them just re-signing Reggie Jackson for 2 years for $22 million, Is John Wall giving you that much of a premium over Reggie Jackson for you to go commit 4 times the salary in a year to give him? Reggie Jackson is making $11 million this coming season. You'd be willing to pay John Wall pay 4 times as much for John Wall? 4 times as much? I think John Wall is too expensive. I think it's a bad contract. I think he's too expensive. I think he's a fantastic player. He would be a great point guard. He would bring them a lot of quickness. I'm not sure about his. Let me look at John Wall's stats. Let me see if I can pull it up. John Wall. I think John Wall last season, he averaged in 40 games, he scored 21 points per game, which is fantastic. 1 steal, 7 assists per game, 3.9 rebounds, 75% from the free throw line, 31% from the 3, and 40%. Here's my issue with John Wall. I don't think John Wall is an efficient enough player for the system that the Clippers are trying to run. I don't think he's an efficient enough player. Is he a more talented player than Patrick Beverley? And obviously, right? Obviously, John Wall is scoring 21 points per game. If we look at Patrick Beverley, although he was unavailable, but so was John Wall last year. But Patrick Beverley actually shot a higher field goal percentage and a higher 3-point percentage than John Wall. John Wall is not going to be taking the majority of the shots in that offense. So really what you're looking for is somebody that's a great distributor, a great ball distributor, extremely quick to be able to speed up the pace, but also somebody that can provide enough spacing for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and these guys. I'm not sure he gives you that. I'm not sure John Wall can hit 3-pointers at 37% consistently in a season, especially in the regular season. I'm not sure if he can do that. So I'm not sure if he fits. And also he's being paid $40 million. I'm not sure the Clippers can afford him. Rondo was not in shape. Watch him get to work next season. We got to see what's happening with Rondo. I think he had flashes. Overall, he didn't play well in the playoffs. Some people made the point that, listen, probably the reason that Rajon Rondo didn't get as many minutes in the playoffs last year was because of the development of the ball handling skills or the playmaking skills of Paul George. And if I'm Ty Lue, if Paul George can play make, not at the level of Rajon Rondo, but at a good enough level, probably 60-65% of what Rondo gives you on the court. But you look at all the other things he can give you, 25, 27 points per game, can play defense, hit threes, all of these different things, get steals. Obviously, I would rather roll the dice and have Paul George on the floor instead of Rajon Rondo. This is just my opinion. I think the Clippers staff made the right decision to stick with Paul George over him. Rondo had knee issues during the playoffs. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. But anyway, to wrap it up, we just did a live just now, so I don't want to. We should trade for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons. Here's my issue with Ben Simmons, man. I think Ben Simmons would be one of the most valuable players in basketball if he could only shoot. If Ben Simmons could shoot, he would be one of the most valuable players in basketball. Because if you're telling me that Ben Simmons is going to shoot 35% from 3, I don't need 40. 35% from 3. He can be able to hit down a mid-range jump shot at 45%. I would say the Clippers should move heaven and earth to get him. Because if you had Ben Simmons as your starting point guard at 6'10" at point guard on the Clippers, they can get you 8 assists per game, 8 rebounds per game. One of the best defenders in all of basketball. They will be unbeatable. But the problem is he can't shoot. This is the problem. He can't shoot. So I would stay away from him. I think Cat is a good idea if they could get him. I don't know if they can. So anyway, guys, these are my thoughts and opinions on this. I think I've covered it here. For those of you guys who missed the first live should be on the channel. You guys can go ahead and check that out there. Also be on the lookout. We have a great video dropping on the channel today that you guys definitely want to check out. Once again, if you guys have any updates, have any questions, or want any updates from us on Dreamerspro, be sure to follow us on Instagram on Dreamerspro. So I'm going to post that right here. You guys can follow us on Instagram. Pin this message to the top. Make sure you follow us on Instagram for any more basketball updates. If you guys want to ask questions, we definitely respond to some of the questions there on Instagram. So you guys can follow us there. We've pinned that to the top of the comment section, so you guys can follow us there. So this is Reggie Jackson. Hey, Diva, thanks for following. DJ HD, appreciate that. Thank you for following us there on IG. So you guys can get other updates as well on Instagram. But these are my thoughts, and I guess we're going to find out soon enough whether or not Kawhi Leonard is going to re-sign with the Clippers. So if you guys haven't seen that first live, make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We're there. Once again, thank you guys for being a part of this live, and we'll definitely catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.